Sorry, it's just so sad. It's just so sad. I just read a story on the internet. It is so sad. I'm just sorry. Hold on. So sad. It's so sad. I'm just trying to. I'm sorry. Okay, let me just tell you about this story I just read on the internet. It is so sad. There's a story on the internet right now. I'm going to show you the link in just a minute. It's really, really traumatic. It's really sad. It's just so depressing. This guy, I guess he got an H1B visa, and his wife got some sort of visa so she can work too. And they bought $1 million house, and now I guess they're going to change the program. But they're wanting to change the program so the spouses cannot work. Only the H1B visa holder can work, and the spouse cannot work. And now this couple might lose their $1 million house. It's so sad. It's so sad. They bought a house for like over $1 million, or at least that's what I think they did, because the mortgage payment's almost $5,000. So the mortgage payment's almost $5,000, so the house is probably around $1 million. And they might not be able to pay their mortgage payment because she might not be able to work because she's a spouse, and the H1B visa guy, only he can work, and she might not be allowed to work, and they might not be able to pay their mortgage payment on their $1 million house. It's so sad. Let me show you the article real quick, folks. Let me just show you this sad, sad article. It's really, really sad. All right, so here it is right here. Let me just get the camera in focus. All right, so here it is right here. It's CNS News. I gotta warn everybody, you might cry as well when you read this article. It's a very, very traumatically sad article. New York Times urges sympathy for the plight of H1B visa workers in $1 million homes. It's so sad. New York Times, in a recent article about the prospect that H4 aliens will not be allowed to continue to work, wrote sympathetically about the plight of a 2 guest worker family that may soon become a 1 guest worker family under the proposal. It's so sad. It's just so sad. She began fretting about how they would afford their $4,800 monthly mortgage payment. Oh my God, it's so sad. The situation is the family, including an H1B visa alien worker and his H4 alien worker wife, both currently working in the U.S. economy, were worried that the latter would lose her job should the administration roll back an Obama-era scheme in which some of the H4 dependents of H1B visa workers are allowed work permits. People, the $4,800 mortgage payment at current rates would cover a $1 million mortgage at 30 years, or a $683,000 mortgage at 15 years. So let's go with the 30-year instrument and assume that a down payment of something like 10%, about $100,000, has been paid. This would place the purchase price of the house in question at $1,150,000. It's so sad. They might not be able to pay the mortgage on their $1 million house. It's so sad. It's just so sad. People, you really should read this article, but I must warn you after reading this article, you will be crying. You will be crying because it's just so sad. Let me explain real quick before the battery goes dead. It's just so sad. I mean, we should not have sympathy for Americans who lose their jobs. No, we should not have sympathy for Americans that have been, have their wages collapsed because of mass immigration. No, we should not have sympathy for construction workers that have seen their wages collapse because of millions of illegals pouring into the country that have collapsed the construction worker wages. No, we should not have sympathy for them. No, we need to have sympathy for this woman because she might lose her work visa. You see, her husband, he's got the H1B visa, and she then gets a work permit as well because she's married to him. And this new proposal would eliminate the spouses from working. It would eliminate their visas, and then only the people with the H1B visa could work, and their spouses would not be allowed to work. And it's just so sad because they might have a house like that's $1 million, and you know they have a mortgage payment of over 4,000. Was it 4,800? I believe that was what it was. They have a mortgage payment of $4,800, and if she can't work, they might have trouble paying that mortgage. I mean, I imagine their house is over $1 million, and they might not be able to pay the mortgage. It's just so sad. But let's not have sympathy for all the Americans that have lost their jobs, you know. Let's not have sympathy for all the construction workers that are seeing their wages collapse by 50% because of all the illegals pouring across the border. No, let's not have sympathy for the Americans that have been killed by drunk drivers that were illegals. Let's not have sympathy for the Americans that were killed by some refugee that just came here and then killed 3 or 4 people in a terrorist attack. No, let's not have sympathy for them. Let's have sympathy for her. It's so sad.